Hi, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to the Shrine of English. So today we are here to discuss something related to our magazine. You can see the magazine of our institute, English at Glance. This magazine is getting published by or from our institute, and the students of our institute, they participate in it. So in this video we are going to tell you what are the contents of this magazine, why this magazine is important for all the listeners, the viewers who watch our videos, and how you can get this magazine free of cost. And before you get this magazine, you need to know that what are the benefits of this magazine. There are so many things you are going to get in this magazine. So along with me, Gagan is sitting here. Gagan is the one who is responsible for almost everything, whatever happens in this magazine. Though the articles are written by different students, and we give them free hand. We don't ask them, we don't even accept one or two grammatical things. We don't dictate them for anything. We give them an absolutely free hand to decide their topics, whatever the topics they want to discuss through the magazine. And if the topic is good enough and we feel that it is good for students, so we get them published here. So you can see this is the cover of this magazine, and I think the fourth edition is about to come now. The fourth edition in this week, it's about to come. So you see that the last edition was carrying this flag because it was in August. So in August we wanted to print something related to freedom, country.
We also celebrated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
We celebrated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So because keeping that fact in the mind, this was there. And this is how the magazine looks in the on the front page. It is a very nice quotation is written: one language sets you in the corridor for life, two languages open every door along the way. I'm sure you understand the meaning of it. So let's find out certain things. What are the things in this magazine? Gagan, you want to say something before we go into content?
Yes. So hello everyone, my name is Gagan. I hope that you all are well. So why did we bring this magazine in our existence? Like it has been almost like 4 editions. That this time we are coming with the 5th edition. We always try to bring the variety in our language, or like variety in students' life. Like generally we keep on mugging up of the word, idioms, and like so many other things. But this time we tend to bring some other things also. Like in this 5th edition, earlier you can look at here, like in content we have so many things. So we always try to bring the variety, like words, idioms. Sometimes we also write about the authors, so they can come to about the English authors, the people who have contributed in English language. Sometimes we also ask students to write their review of book. They are like we have library here, so they keep on reading so many books. So we ask them to read and review, like whether they did like it this book or not. And there are multiple things, like success story of some of the student. Like last year there was one ma'am, Dr. Renu ma'am, and she studied from here, and now she's a professor in very GD Goenka University. She also jotted down her experience. So we tend to bring the variety in this magazine, and we want our students should read in an extensive manner along with the intensive things.
So here the magazine starts with some wise word from my side. So you see that every month I write something, whatever I feel my observations are there related to classes or certain methods which we apply in our classes. So it starts from there. Then the article starts straight away. The article starts from here. The first article you see, the last time it was written, presentation class, it was written by Nikki. And she has written something, her observation, what she feels about presentation class, what is the importance of presentation class. As you know that at our institute we have at both the branches, on Monday we have presentation class. After presentation, in the magazine you will see content. So let me little bit tell you about content, what are the things in content. Though Gagan has already spoken about it. Words, idiom, just for today. What comes in just for today?
It is basically, it is a poem or kind of prayer. It was written by one saint, and this is kind of affirmation.
Also, that is basically a kind of prayer and affirmations. Word from newspapers. In this segment, we try to bring those words which are used in newspaper, and these words are very helpful for someone who is preparing for any competitive exam. So if you are aspirant of any competitive exam, you will be delighted to read this segment. Then we have the author segment. What comes in author segment?
Like in this segment, we specially discuss about the author. Like in Hindi literature, we know very much about Premchand. So same, we are not that much aware about the authors who have contributed in English language, like Anthony Chekhov, Shakespeare. So there are many authors who have contributed in English language. So we write the biography, or we write about their life, like how did they come to know about this language and what is their contribution in English language. So this is what we
So in author segment, this is in this way we strive to get our students acquainted with different English authors, not only English, though we have planned that we'll bring up some other authors, the authors of other languages also, but so far we have been focusing on English authors. So last time we got Anthony Jacobs informations published, and these informations are very important for someone who is studying English, because it helps you to get to know about different English authors. Okay, after this, phrasal verbs are there, presentation class, as I said about this article, is there, one word substitution is there. So in one word substitution, you can see it is here only on the front. Some of the very interesting words are there, like fugitive. I'm sure you know the meaning of fugitive, someone who runs away from justice. That person is called fugitive. Henpeck word is there, lunatic is there, Hamlet is there. Hamlet, like, it's a word which very few people know. It's a kind of village, small village is called Hamlet. And of course chauffeur. Chauffeur is a word which very few people know. It's a word for the driver. So for driver we use this word. So such interesting words are there. So I'm sure you are looking for these kind of interesting words, and why not get them. And then after this we have poem. There is a poem. The name of the poem is If, by Rudyard Kipling. This poem is there. So we also get you acquainted with interesting poems. Then after this some grammar rules are there. What are the things we publish in grammar things?
Grammar rules, like last time it has been almost 4 times. Like sometimes we publish figure of speeches. We have been very much regular with the figure of speech. Like in first edition we came with the simile. In the second there was metaphor, hyperbole, and this time we are coming, means last time we kept pun rule in this magazine, like yamak. In Hindi we call it yamak. Like generally people get confused with the rule of figure of speech, but we always try to bring this kind of advanced rule so that students get acquainted with the such rules.
So in grammar you get to know about certain interesting facts about grammar. I'm sure the people who can read, who can afford to read this kind of magazine, they are quite aware with the basic grammar. But here we tend to give you some different rules of grammar, and as we spoke about figure of speech and all these things. After this, silent letters are there. So we every time we try to bring certain words where a word is not pronounced, or less stress is there, or like vowel and all these things are there. So we tend to explain them. But after this there is something Hindi story. This is something interesting, that in English magazine a Hindi story is given. What is the reason to give them Hindi story, and what's the aim for this?
So the story title is Madad. I found it on Instagram, or I don't know whether on which platform I found. I found it was good story. So we wrote this story in this magazine, and we asked the student to translate that story into English so that their translation can improve. Because sometimes what happens, like we always, while learning English, we forget like how to translate the sentence in the exact manner. Because in Hindi, like we generally call our father wo, but in English we cannot call our father wo, means those. So with the help of this story, like by translating this story, we come to know about very small things about Hindi story, like how to translate, or when to stop, when to use comma, when to use some punctuation marks. So this is the reason that we put the Madad story. Madad, this is the title of this story in this.
And here I would also like to tell all the viewers that one thing you need to know when it comes to translation. See, there are 2 types of translation one has to practice. One is English to Hindi, which most of the people do. They find it quite convenient to translate things from English to Hindi, as the English things are easily available. But what I see, most of the students are not translating from Hindi to English. But believe me, it's a time-tested concept. If you translate from Hindi to English, you will suddenly realize the importance of vocabulary, because you know a word in Hindi but you don't know how to say this in English. Expression is needed, you probably know in Hindi but you don't know how to convert this in English. So if you are at the place where you are translating, a good recommendation would be translate from both the side, Hindi to English and English to Hindi. And then the last segment comes about some kind of personal success story is there. So what happens in this success story thing?
Like we have been consistent with our English language, that we have been contributing in our society by serving. It has been almost 17 years that Jeet Sir has been teaching. There are so many students who come here and they excel in their life. So last time we had a student, Dr. Renu ma'am. So she joined, I guess she joined in lockdown, and the kind of improvement she has done in her language, means English language, it was commendable. And I was very much impressed after seeing her growth, because when she joined she was not able to communicate in that manner. By the end of the year she was speaking so good English. So I asked, we asked her to write her testimony, like how was your experience when you joined, and now what do you feel about your English language. So she wrote very beautiful article, success story, in which she has written each and every point, like what is the teaching method of Jeet Sir, like what are the activities we generally conduct in online classes. So although it is a one story, we have so many like lineup, like there are so many students who join and they are working at very good level, right?
So this segment is important for motivation, that as you are a learner, so probably you are at the beginning and you always want to know what is the end result. So this story helps you to know the people who have covered up this distance, how do they feel about it, and their testimony, their methods, their feedback would help you to continue with your journey. Though obstacles are there, hindrances are there, but you can also feel that okay, if they can make it, I can also make it. So these are certain things we wanted to tell you about our magazine. And if you are someone who is not aware about this magazine, so let me tell you that these magazines are available on our Instagram page, and they are available on Facebook also. So you can of course download from there, or you can go and read. Related to this, if you have any doubt, queries which you want to ask, or probably you have any suggestions, we would love to get your suggestions. So please write in comment box. We'll be happy to read your suggestions. Thank you so much. Do take care and enjoy your time. Thank you.